Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Anniken and I design knitting patterns and I teach knitting workshops and I live in the southwest of England. Today I'm going to talk about my top that's just been published in Knitting magazine issue 232, and I'm going to tell you what I think about the yarn I knitted in. So I'm going to do a bit of a yarn review and show you some details from this sweater. Before I do that, whether you are a returning viewer or a new viewer, welcome. I really appreciate you being here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing. And if you have any comments, please leave a comment or a question below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I release videos every Friday and I do a combination of tutorials, yarn and knitting product reviews, and my Confessions of a Yarn Addict podcast. Okay, so let's talk about this design. This is my design for issue 232 of Knitting magazine. It is a sweater with an all-over lace pattern. Sleeves are worked in stocking stitch. So this all-over is a lacy rib stitch pattern, which is really nice. It's kind of like a sort of undulating stitch pattern. I really like this stitch pattern. So it gives you like a lacy rib. When you knit it, it looks like it's going to be really small, but it does relax and stretch a bit when you block it. I didn't block this very aggressively. After I washed it and rolled it up in a towel, when I laid it out, it kind of relaxed into the shape it was, and I just stretched it a tiny bit just to kind of even it all out and make it look nice. So it's not been stretched aggressively. The sweater is knitted in the round from the hem to the underarm, so there's no seams at the side here. So the stitch pattern continues all the way around, and then from the underarm I knitted the front and the back separately to the shoulders. Shoulders are joined by working a 3 needle cast off, although you can cast off and seam them if you prefer. And then I picked up stitches around the armhole and I worked the sleeves from the top down using short rows, which, if you're worried about short rows, don't be. Normally when I've done short row sleeve caps in the past, I've tended to use German short rows, but this time I tried wrap and turn short rows, but I didn't pick up the wraps. So normally when you do a wrap and turn short row, when you get to where you've wrapped the stitch, you have to pick up the wrap and knit it with the stitch you wrapped it around. I didn't do that on this time, and you really can't tell. Well, you can kind of see them, but they kind of blend in with the stitches you've picked up. And what I like is that the lace pattern is kind of like, gives you that kind of wavy feel. It kind of has this sort of slightly wavy feel around the armhole, which I really like. So really like this sweater. I wish it was in my size. The yarn I used is from Lottie knits. I bought some yarns from her last year, but I hadn't knitted with them yet. So I got one of the skeins I got last year out and knitted a couple of swatches in it, and I submitted this design, and the editor kindly let me use the same yarn that I used for my design submission, which doesn't always happen. So this is Little Bird Sock from Lottie knits. I will put all her details below and a link to her website below. So Little Bird Sock, I guess technically it's a sock yarn, but you can use it for garments as well. Don't get too caught up in things that are called a sock yarn. Doesn't mean it's just for socks. The yarn is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It has 365 meters per 100 grams skein. I'm just looking at the label here so I remember all the details. It is recommended that you do a cool hand wash. I washed it in warm water after I finished knitting it, so I soaked it for a while in about 10 minutes in warm water with a little bit of soak wool wash, which doesn't need rinsing. And then I took it out, squeezed out as much water as I could, rolled it up into a towel, squeezed out as much water as I could, and then I blocked it. The colorway is Peony, which is a really pretty pink. I really like it. I have nearly 2 skeins left from what Lottie sent me, which I'm really grateful for. So I will be doing something else with that color, those 2 skeins. It's not quite 2 skeins. It's probably like 100 gram skein and maybe 80 grams of a second skein. So I will be doing something with those in the future because it's such a pretty colorway. It is called a sock yarn, so it is suitable for socks, obviously. It does have nylon in it, and it is a high twist, which means that there are more twists per inch than a regular yarn, I guess. Yarns, the things that make a yarn more suitable for socks is strength really, and you can add strength a couple of different ways. You can add a fibre that's adds strength, in this case nylon. Other fibres as well add strength, not just nylon, but nylon is very popular in sock yarns. You can also add twisted yarn. If the yarn has more twist, it's harder wearing than a yarn with less twist. So this is a high twist sock yarn, which is why it has slightly less meterage than a lot of sock yarns. So a lot of sock yarns have around 400 meters per 100 gram. This has 365 because it has that higher twist, so then you get slightly shorter skein length. So of course this yarn is suitable for socks. It's also suitable, as you can see, for garments, for accessories, shawls, hats, scarves, because it has that nylon, and the high twist is should be quite hard wearing. So it should be fine to use for things like mittens and hand warmers, socks, baby items. It's incredibly soft. Unless you've got a really, really severe wool sensitivity, I wouldn't have thought it would feel itchy. It doesn't feel itchy to me. I probably have like a medium wool sensitivity. My daughters are both really sensitive to wool, but they're not at home, so I haven't been able to get them to try it on, but it feels incredibly soft, so I wouldn't have thought you'd have a problem with it. I will definitely be using this yarn again. I've got, I think, 2 other skeins in 2 other colorways in my stash, and then obviously this one and about 80 gram from the second skein. So I will be using it again. I've got one skein that I've kind of set aside for a pair of socks because it's a really dark purple colorway, and I'll probably knit a shawl with it at some point, maybe some other accessories, but I really like this yarn and I will definitely be getting more. Lottie dyes the most amazing colorways, really saturated, beautiful colors, and I really like it. I'll put a link to Lottie Knit's website below. She's based in the UK, but I'm assuming she will ship internationally, but do go and check it out. Her colour is absolutely amazing. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I highly recommend this yarn. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this design, which is in Knitting Magazine issue 232. I'll put the link to the magazine below, and I'll put the link to Lottie Knits below. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave a comment below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate your support. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.